So my little camp stove arrived. I mentioned that I had ordered this earlier, and I mentioned that I had made a bunch of these briquettes. These are papier-mâche briquettes. So I'm going to assemble my stove. Then I'm going to take it down to a local beach where there are grills, and I'm going to set it up and fire up some of these to see how well they work to cook. I'm going to cook a piece of fish down there. Because the fish is thin, it'll cook rather quickly, because I understand these don't burn too long. So let's take a look at my stove. Comes with a little carry bag. And these pieces have plastic on them. And I think I'm supposed to peel this off. If I can do this. Yeah, there it goes. Can't imagine you would want to cook, light a fire with this plastic on there. I think I'm onto the right thing, because there's wording on here, but nothing is complete because the pieces are too small. It sort of says, please tear down the protective film, blah, 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 blah. And there's a part of an illustration here that shows hand peeling the film off. So I think I'm in the right direction here. And it's not difficult to remove. There's just a lot of pieces, and it's cut in several places, like so. Looks like I got one more piece to remove. This center piece. All right. Okay, so I think I have all the film removed. Nothing left in the box. All right, I'm going to throw this away, and then we'll assemble this and see what it looks like. There's some illustrations on the box, step 1, 2, 3, 4, that tell you what to do. And this is the bottom piece. This has 3 tabs on it, but not one here. And then this has got a slot, no slot, slot. So I'm assuming this piece with no slot, this has to go on last, right? So, these have notches that go down. So I'm assuming this is going to be an edge piece here. I'm going to put tab A through slot B. And then this has upward pieces. And then insert the tab through there. Third side. All right, put that slot back in again. Put that slot in. And then because this has no notch, then how do you do the other side? Tweak it a little bit. Okay, there's the basis of the stove. The bottom is on. And then there are these 2 pieces here. They intersect with each other like that. And then they fit into the top about like so. And I don't know how far they go down. And I actually have them upside down according to the illustration. So flip it around. And these little corner tabs slide down in between. It's a tight fit. they go down in there. And that is the little grill work here that you put your pan on. And I'll be able to put my little briquettes in there. I might have to shave them down. No, they'll go in. And burn them inside. What do you think? All right, let's go to the beach and test this thing. I'll disassemble it, put it back in its little pouch, and I'll reassemble it at the beach. So here is the camp stove on a stove, on a grill at the beach. That's the ocean out there. And I'm using a torch because I went through a whole book of matches, or pretty near, and I couldn't start the fire. The wind would blow the match out. Look how well the fire is working. It works. I've got 3 briquettes in there, and that was enough to give me plenty of heat. Here's my little piece of fish that I've started. This is side 1, and then I flip this over. I'm leaving the sound on this because you can hear the fish sizzling in the pan and see it sizzling. It works. And then finally, there's my fish with some potato salad on my plate, ready to enjoy my lunch. So how well did it work? It worked. I had enough heat from the briquettes to cook that piece of fish. I brought fish because I knew it would cook quickly. You don't get a long heating period out of these briquettes, 15, maybe 20 minutes at the most. You can always add more, but what I had was enough to cook that fish. Few caveats. One is it's hard to get them started. Maybe if I had had some sort of starter fuel, like for charcoal briquettes, I went through nearly a book of matches trying to get the briquette started, but there was wind, and as soon as I'd light the match, the wind would blow the match out. So what I ended up using was this propane and a little self-starter torch that I was able to blast the briquettes with that and got them started. That was fine. Another issue was you wouldn't want to cook directly over the flame because the underside of my skillet was all black with soot, which easily washed off. But I can't imagine what the food would be like if it had black soot all over it. So that's the only issues that I saw. I have ordered another camp stove. This is a larger one. It's more like a fire pit, but it's got a grill that goes on top. That I should be able to use my oak logs on, the split oak that I have. And by the way, you can feed wood into that little camp stove, and supposedly as it burns at one end and starts to burn off, you just keep feeding the wood in. I would be curious to see how much the fire burns back before you can get the wood into the stove. That would be a good experiment. But other than that, the stove worked. I was able to cook my lunch. It's fine. So that's my test of that little campfire, that little camp stove. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe, tell others about it, and thanks for listening.